I think during COVID, people really needed money.
Yes.
So ukilipa mtu pesa yote, somehow anaitumia. We were disappointed. I tried to stay cool, but Sally could not cause. You know, weddings are more at heart with the ladies.
That's true.
We had friends who are informed. And also see at CC ni ndoro. We know how to make calls, you know.
Welcome to Event Hub, the home of solutions. Today we are here with Mr. and Mrs. KIRIITHI. Thank you so much for having us. Maybe you can introduce yourself to the audience, let them know who you are.
Thank you, Tabitha. I'm Ernest Njoroge, and this is my wife.
My name is Olivia Wangari.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having us today. So we go straight to you guys have been married. How long have you been married and how is the journey of marriage?
We have been married for almost 2 years now.
Okay.
2 years, 15th of August.
Yeah, okay.
This month, 15th, will be 2 years.
Yes.
And the journey has been exciting. Tumekuwa na ups and downs. We have had a good time. Na pia we have learned a lot in our challenges.
Yes.
We have learned to accept the journey is not supposed to be smooth. It will not be interesting if it's not having some ups and downs.
Yes.
Therefore, we have learned to embrace whatever comes our way and to find solutions along the way.
Yes.
Maybe you can say something.
Yes, we are parents.
Awesome.
We have a 7-month
by then
old. Yes. Yeah, we are parents.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Now we go straight to the day that Ernest you've decided I've seen Sally and this is the woman I want to spend the rest of my life with. You've proposed and now you guys are planning your wedding.
Yeah.
How was that?
Okay. After I proposed, now what follows is the gay. I don't know what's called in English. As in taking my parents to go and know her home.
Yes.
Then there was a Rorashio to follow.
Yes.
And I don't know what happens during that time. Christians are usually broke. Boys are usually broke. I don't know why. So that time I was temporarily inconvenienced financially.
Yes.
And I was really in love because we had dated for over 4 years.
Wow.
When I was proposing. Nilipenda huyu madam akiwa campus.
Hey.
So by the time she was graduating, ndio sasa nikaleta hii maneno ya proposal and all that. And things were tough because during that time pia I had had an accident.
Okay.
And the accident had made me not to have any money in my pocket because the doctors were saying you have to be in bed rest. In bed rest after this surgery, have a bed rest of 1 month. You can't walk, such kind of things.
All right.
So of course her parents and relatives didn't know about that.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
not really her parents, but the relatives.
Yes.
And during Rorashio, the parents are not supposed to talk.
Yes.
It's the relatives, uncles, gukas. They are the people who are asking for the money. So they know nothing about my problems.
Sick, yes.
Yes. So somehow I was really affected because I felt these guys are not getting me. They don't get where I'm coming from. They want to drain me, of which I don't have anything to offer.
Yes.
As we were planning, COVID hit.
Wow.
It even became worse because sasa I don't have money, and that means you don't have any reserve.
Yes.
And these guys have shut down everything,
Yes.
lockdown. You know, you can't go anywhere.
Yes.
And my business depends on events.
Okay.
Sasa, if you are in events business, whereby you can't print flyers, you can't print banners, that means your pockets are empty.
Yes.
And
here you're planning for a wedding.
And here I'm planning for a wedding. Another thing, churches are not gathering.
Yes.
Churches are not gathering. So you can't plan that on Sunday you will meet people and tell them, oh, I have this and this, my ratio is forthcoming, I need your support and all that. So we didn't even have a committee.
Wow.
We had to plan with 2 or 3 friends, our best couple, and one of our family members.
Okay.
We were meeting not as often, just as need comes around, as in we should meet for this and this, but it was very smooth. Maybe my babe should say something.
When COVID struck, we were to wed on June, I think June 9. I can't remember the exact date. But with COVID, we had to change everything.
Yes.
And that day when I remember COVID struck in March, so we were supposed to get married in June.
Yes.
So everything changed. We had to stop everything because we were not allowed to meet in church, no gatherings. So we had to change everything. And I remember our ratio was moved to that wedding day, the day that we were supposed to get married.
That is
Before that's when we had our ratio.
Yeah.
So it really affected us a lot. We were confused. We didn't know what to do. We went to our pastor. We asked him what should we do. He didn't have answers for us.
Yes.
Because no one saw a pandemic coming. Yeah. So it was a challenge. Mentally, it affected us a lot.
I can imagine the hassle of, there is no gathering and here you have a dream wedding. If I can ask, now there's COVID and you guys have decided you're still going to go on with the wedding. You didn't cancel the wedding,
No.
So when you were sourcing for the service providers, because I'm thinking at that time, even the service providers can be scared.
Yes.
There was a lot of tension, there was a lot of fear going around.
Yes.
So how did you manage to source your service providers?
In that case, we relied on word from our friends. Which garden do you know? Because there was a limitation of how far you can go according to the limits of lockdown. Therefore, we had friends who are informed. My brother is in the event industry.
Yes.
MC Danko. So we also had Miano. Of course, part of your team.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Yes.
We had friends who are informed, and also see at CCC in Ndoro. We know how to make calls. So
we are
not toast. We are not toast. So we made a few calls. We had to compare. Of course, we had to consider the costs.
Yes.
How much these guys are charging, so that we could initangwa nini kupunguza cost of the wedding, how much we are paying people.
Yes.
Service providers.
Yes.
So in that case, our hustle was not much about service providers.
All right.
Haikuwa ati big deal kutafuta.
All right.
Because pia we were not intentionally looking to do a big wedding.
Okay.
Since hatuna unajua kama una pesa, it will be stupid if you are planning for sorry, you see vocabulary. So you have to work with what you have.
Yes.
And you have to be real with what is available.
Yeah.
And you can't call people during a pandemic and tell them you're planning a wedding of 800,000 or $1 million or even 500,000 and you want money from them. First of all, kwa group utasema umetoa pesa ngapi?
Yes.
Ati have pledged 100,000. I invite you all to contribute. They will be like, 100,000 and you want 400,000 from us? It's not our wedding, it's your wedding.
Yes.
Another thing, they are not supposed to come because even the wanitangoaji out to a garden, the people who are hiring the garden,
Yes.
they have limitations from the government whereby even if you are asking to hire their gardens, they will tell you we have a limit of 50 people.
Yes.
Beyond 50 people, we can't host you.
Yes.
According to the capacity of our garden.
Yes.
So unakuta ukitaka garden kubwa, they will tell you the same story.
Yes.
Hata kama they have a bigger garden.
Yeah.
Because the gathering ya weddings ilikuwa imewekwa
50 people.
A limit of 50 years.
Yes.
So those are the challenges. KIRIITHI.
This one I was asking about you sourcing, and I think umenijibu. You had your service providers ready. Now, did they deliver to the core? Were there any challenges with the service providers? Did they deliver what you had agreed on?
Maybe baby should answer that one.
I think most of them did. And I think especially for us, we hired a ground.
Yes.
And at the ground there was decor, there was food. Yes, and there was also PA.
All right.
Yes, I think they delivered.
All in one.
Yes.
So in the garden they were offering everything. The decor, the chairs, the tables. All right.
And I think they did. They even outdid themselves.
All
because
right.
that time there was restrictions.
All right.
Of only 50 people.
Yes.
But our family, they came more than we had invited them.
Yes.
So
Get crashers.
Yeah. So the food was not enough because we had prepared food for only 50-60 people. So the service provider added extra food.
Awesome.
Yes, I think those people did a good job. Where we blundered was video.
Okay.
We got a friend and he was like, guys, I do video, you can give me that job.
Ule jamaa tukiuza na yeye mananasi. Right?
Yes. So we gave him the job, but we had
that
not
is videography.
Yes. But we had not done enough research on him, or we had not seen his job. So it was a gamble, and he really disappointed us.
Okay.
Because he didn't bring what he said he'd bring.
All right.
And the way he recorded, we didn't like it.
And editing.
Yeah, and he didn't edit to our life. Yes. So I think the video was also, I think the video is what we really blundered.
All right.
And then another mistake we did, we paid everything before delivery, especially the photography and the videography.
Okay.
We paid them even before they finished everything. And I think that's a mistake.
In advance. Paying them in advance.
Yeah.
So you kind of feel you should sorry, yes.
And I think during COVID people really needed money.
Yes.
So ukilipa mtu pesa yote somehow anaitumia, then they get lazy or they start doing some other hustling to manage.
Yes.
About videography, the issue was they were relying with our church cameras for going live, and the audio through the church cameras to go live.
All right. So
the live stream, they thought that as they were shooting, there was a backup video in the camera. Nitango nini hiyo kadi? SD card.
Yes.
They thought there is a backup. So they thought that even if their mics are not recording right, the church cameras are capturing. So they have a backup with the church.
Present to join this young man, this young lady in the holy baptism.
of which hawakuniuliza.
Okay.
And I also was thinking, or we were thinking, that they are going to come with reliable gadgets.
Yes.
So they didn't tell us that they had that challenge.
Okay.
Otherwise, we could have told the church team, the media team, to organize for a backup. As they live stream, they have something going into the hard drive.
Yes.
So later on, when we are asking for maybe a trailer to be watching or to be showing people as he does the editing, ndo anatuambia the audio is not matching the frames of the picture. There is a language they use. Sorry to say that. Wanasema ati the audio in this video is not matching with the audio in the other camera.
Yes.
And they were saying this one has more noises, this one does not. And they don't have any other audio. No, huwezi rudia harusi ati ndio washoot. Huwezi rudia harusi ndio washoot.
Yes.
So that was a challenge. Another thing, the resolution of the two cameras they had was very different.
Okay.
One had very good clarity, the other one was blurry. This one has a good colors, this one has dull colors.
Yes.
Then we were telling him, how can you shoot with such two different cameras?
Yes.
The audio is bad, then you want to edit something, combine all this mess and give us
A complete.
a combination of a mess. We were disappointed. I tried to stay cool, but Sally could not, cause you know weddings are more at heart with the ladies.
That's true.
So she wanted a memory to remember.
That's true.
And since huyo jamaa tuko tuchapa naye biashara, I had high hopes with him. As a friend, I was like, hawezi tuangusha. Then he started being tricky. For us, we had some portions of the videos that were short to be mandatory to appear in the entire edited video.
Yes.
For example, prayers by Shosh, the vows, blessings by dad, aunties, they should not be edited zikuwe fupi.
Alright.
Unless there is unnecessary something that was said, it can be cut off. But sasa he was streaming prayers, unakuta Shosho ameanza kuomba, and then anaweka amen, then someone else is talking. We were like, no, hata afadhali wedi tuko kwa harusi, but hizi vitu wacha tusikie hizi maombi ziliomboaje. But for him anasema if he does that, the video will be too long.
But that's at your request.
I know. And if you said you will shoot and edit, it's your job.
Yes.
And to our satisfaction, these are the requirements that we need.
Yes.
And even saying that he should not trim it that much, it's also reducing his job.
Yes.
Right? So akaanza kusema it's too much work now. Even after he had finished, we were expecting that he's going to give us an edited video in a disc or in a memory stick.
Yeah.
Later on anatuambia nyi tupatieni hard drive. Hii video yenyu inajaza hard drive yangu. I want to free some space, I have some jobs. I was like, this is not customer care. Hii endi poa hii.
Yes.
Start getting vulgar. Then you are like, hey, this is not what I thought you are, or your reputation does not match your work.
Yes.
So we were also talking with my babe here. We were saying you cannot recommend mtu
like that.
Ende afanywe hivi.
Yes.
So that was one of the challenges with the photographer and the videographer. I think the loophole was we paid them in advance a lot of money, like 95%. Then we had nothing on paper saying we are expecting this and this and this and this. So we later realized we should have put everything on paper.
Yeah.
In paper, this is what we expect, and this is what we have agreed. We have paid you this much. We have your balance of this much.
Yes.
So your loophole nakutanga you can remember the service provider at their convenience, they don't remember.
Yes.
So what do? You let it slide.
Sure.
Because even if you are to confront them and all that, it's too bad.
It's too bad, yeah.
Unawacha tu. But I think what we can advise people about photographers and videographers,
Yes.
agree on a portion that you pay in advance. Can work as a motivation, as a commitment too. But don't pay all the money.
All right.
Also have meetings whereby you know what you are expecting out of what you have paid. We agreed this and this and this. This is what it's supposed to deliver. How many videographers, how many photographers are coming? You know, the manpower. How many machines you have, cameras you're coming with, lights.
Yes.
They should come see the venue. Asikuje kusema ati we don't have the audio for this camera. They should have came and know the ground in advance.
Yes.
Such challenges.
Yes.
Because now when you are live streaming, they should know the media team that they are working with.
That's true.
Rather than saying that I didn't know and all that.
Yeah.
And that it's a matter of ignorance. It's ignorance.
Yes.
Assuming that everything will be set for you.
For you, yeah.
Na ni kazi yako.
That's true.
They are paying you for that.
Yes.
So that also shows if they do not come to the ground to know what they are working with, they are incompetent.
Yes.
So
awesome. Thank you so much for that insight. I believe it's you know, even our viewers are able to grasp something there. Was that the only challenge you guys faced, videographer and photography, or was there any other challenge that you guys faced? And I'll ask this to Sally.
You can answer about the gun.
I think on my part I was not sure what I wanted.
All right.
So I had to really look for a gown.
Okay.
But I don't regret it because I enjoyed myself.
You enjoyed all the fittings?
But I would say my best couple, our best couple really helped. She was there throughout. She was patient. And yeah. I don't think it was a challenge, but we took a lot of time
getting the perfect gown.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So I'm thinking you guys have shared your story, and thank you so much for sharing that. Now I'm thinking, what would you advise a friend? Because there's something I've really, I've learned from you. You're saying like someone like videographer was a friend, so you realize that this is your friend, he's not going to let you down. What's your advice to the viewers who are watching concerning if I'm sourcing for a service provider and I have a friend who is doing that? Because what I'm getting is there's friendship here that is already broken due to something like this. This is your big day, you're expecting it to be perfect, and someone else comes and disappoints you, especially this person is your friend. What's your advice to a couple who is planning a wedding when it comes to sourcing a service provider who is your friend?
You can answer that. If there's anything you miss, I can add.
I think the most important thing is to have like an agreement, everything written on paper.
Yes.
So that they know what they're expected to do, and when they don't deliver, then you can go back to your agreement.
Yes. Yeah. Awesome. So agreement, one thing you're stating is that have agreement on every service provider you're sourcing, so that there's something written, something that is formal. Whenever you're going to disappoint me, I'm going to have proof of it.
Yes. Another thing, do your research. Consult as many service providers as possible. Kama ni photographers, ask how much do you charge, what's the package, ask another one, compare.
Yes.
Then even if it's your friend that you're giving the job, you know what to expect.
Yes.
So that once they put their offer or whatever they are offering on the table, you are able to know the value of your money.
Yes.
Otherwise, anything can go.
Yes.
And you might overpay for something you should have paid for less.
Yes.
And that is ignorance. That's another thing about ignorance. Ask around. You have friends.
Yes.
Now, you have to be the one to go to the ground or to make the calls.
Yes.
you have informed friends, you have someone maybe who got married before you.
Yes.
Ask them. You have best couple.
Yes.
Of course, they got married before you. Ask them, how does this go around? How do we go around this? So they'll give you information.
Yes.
Information cannot be given to you if you're not asked. And asking the right questions.
Yes.
Unajua unaweza kuuliza ground zinapatikananga wapi. You're not asking how much they cost.
They cost, yes.
The capacity of the ground.
Yes.
Do they offer this and these services? That's what we did with Sally. We had a lot of information at our disposal from friends. So we did comparison. We realized there's too much work if we are going to do the planning by ourselves, sourcing chairs. We were trying to cut costs.
Yes.
But now we realized out of our friends, of course, Miano from your team, he informed us there is a ground in Juja. They offer decor, food. They have the grounds for photography and reception. We were like, oh yeah, this is a deal.
Yes.
It's a wrap. So we offloaded everything there.
Yes.
And we knew what to expect. Another thing about service providers, have people to follow up with them. Have people to follow up with them. Of course, you have a team. For us, we didn't have a team. We had like 7, maximum 7 people who we were planning the wedding with.
Yes.
But those people are working. If we need feedback by Sunday, they will come back with feedback.
Wow.
Don't put people on your team that are not reliable.
Yes.
Let the people be reliable. And be sure, even if you have delegated the work to friends, to follow up with service providers. Follow up. It's your wedding, not theirs.
Yeah. Wow. That's
So
something
it's your wedding, not theirs. So make sure every detail that you are expecting to be followed up through, you are following up if they have found a feedback from the service provider.
Yes.
So we had a few people, but very efficient.
Awesome.
So we gave one of our team members to follow up with these with the grounds, decor, and all that. They follow up that evening. That evening, actually, the Friday evening, because the wedding was on Saturday.
Yes.
The decor people, of course, they are the same people offering food and all that. They had done a very shoddy job in the church. You know, wanaeka tumaua tudogo. Then those petals that are supposed to be spread on the
aisle.
On the aisle. Kitu ningesema. It's like walichukua maua mbili wakarusha. So
I like one petals.
haikuwa na petals. The flowers had been minimalized.
Okay.
So it looked like a low budget. Inaka low budget wedding. So the guy called us. Nesto huku wedding yenye vile imefanywa hapa church. Deco ni mbovu. So they quarreled the whole night
that is the eve of the wedding.
Yes. So you see, if you didn't have someone to follow up with them, you will wake up to a surprise. You're like, what? This is not what we paid for.
Yes.
And you have paid them over 100,000.
Yes.
Hata kama ni kunyonga bana. Huwezi nyonga budget hivyo. You see, of course the chairs were there. The draperies, nitango nini?
Yes.
Draperies hizo ma fabrics zinakango kwa tent. They are theirs. Maua tu ndo walikuwa wananunua. I was like, this is the only thing you're buying and munanyonga budget. How?
Yes.
So we were very few. I think Sally didn't know about it. So my friend called me. I was like, how can they do that? They have everything on site. Wanaweza nyonga aje kitu kama hii? Because the rest of the flowers they have them in the garden. Na labda hata walichuna huko.
Oh babe, unawachomea.
Ana walichuna hapo kwa garden. So I'm like, how can you nyonga budget ya deco ya church hivi? I was very furious. Cause hata hiyo pesa haipatikani. You're calling people wanakutoka.
Wanasema tunatoa do na tutakuja harusi.
Yes.
You see?
That was the excuse.
Yes.
All right.
So hata kama mtu alikuwa kurusha 5k, anakurusha k, anakuambia buda hii inatosha. Hiyo nyingine nitakula na familia home nikiwatch stream live. see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Sasa wale wakutoa kitu ndio wanaruka fence huko kwa garden wakisema lazima wakuje harusi. So my point is, have people to follow up with the service providers.
Did they rectify on the flowers?
Oh, it was a very tough evening for the guy who was following up. But by morning everything was fixed.
Awesome.
He called me, he said, now the petals look right, and the aisle look right, the carpet look right, the deco in church is on point.
All right.
So that's when I broke the news to my wife and gave her the good news, so that atulie moyo.
Yes.
Also, to relieve yourself from all this stress ya kuplan, as you conclude the wedding planning, have someone you trust with the money to clear the balances, rather than you're going to your honeymoon and all service providers are ruining it, asking for payments.
Yes.
Unless you want to run away with their money, have someone on the ground to handle that. Have a list.
Yes.
Tell your guy, this is how much I owe this guy, this is what we agreed.
Yes.
This is how much I owe this guy, this is what we agreed.
Yes.
If something is amiss, wananyonga hiyo pesa.
Yes.
It's business. Even if it's a friend, it's business. And hawayuko hapa kukufa unless ni kazi ya bure.
Yes.
Unless ni kazi ya bure, that's when you can't go around saying, oh, walifanya. But if you're paying them, make sure the guy who's following up, they have what to expect and the balance. If they under-deliver, they know this is going to happen.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much. I think, wow, that was such a vibe. I think you guys have everything you need when you're watching this. If you're planning a wedding, you have this information. I think it's enough for you to go around and assessing the service providers. Thank you so much, Mr. and Mrs. KIRIITHI, for your time. As always, this is Event Hub, home of solution. Keep tuned.
Boom!